Fall camp opened up. What are we looking to hear from the coaching staff, from the players over the next month that's going to make us feel more confident about this team moving forward? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So fall camp opened up on Wednesday. We didn't really get a look. The media wasn't available the media was not permitted to watch practice or speak to any of the players after practice. We'll get some of that on Thursday afternoon after their Thursday practice. But Jay, let's start with this. Over the next several weeks, what are you looking to hear from the coaching staff, from the players, that's going to help you feel more confident about this team moving forward?
I say the first thing is going to be who's the ones that stepped up to be the leaders, right? So we know defensively it's going to be Stutsman. It's going to be Billy Bowman. That's just the fact, right? That's de facto leaders for those groups. But for me, I want to hear about Peyton Bowen. I want to hear Peyton Bowen stepped up to be another leader in a secondary room, right? Billy Bowman talked about him at SEC Media Days, and for the most part said that he's the dude that can step up and be that next guy. He's just got to, take that next step forward. I want to hear about who does that if Peyton Bowen's one of them. Defensive line, I want to know who's that person that comes in and becomes the voice of reason and the voice to pump everybody up there. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, you want to know who's going to lead things in the offensive line. So I kind of want to see who the leader and the voice is outside of your standard guys in each room. I want to hear about some new guys that step up and take the reins of the position group and say, hey, let's tighten up, let's get better, let's go. I want to hear about who those guys are.
Yeah, you're going to have to start seeing some leaders step up because Stutsman's gone after this year. Billy Bowman's gone after this year. Woody Washington, Dejon Terry. You're losing a lot of veteran leadership off this crew. Likely seeing Jalil Farouk go off to the NFL after this season. I mean, he'll go to the NFL after this season.
Yeah, he's gone.
So you're losing a lot of leadership. Guys like, Jake Roberts, though he's only been at Oklahoma a short time, he's been around college football for a long time.
Right.
So Branson Hickman, another one. Troy Everett, another one. So you're going to be losing a lot of leaders. You got to see some of these young guys like a Josh Bates along the offensive line step up and start taking some of those leadership responsibilities. I want to hear them talk about the physicality. I want to hear them say, hey, yes, we're not doing, maybe 100% full contact live, but we're doing some of that. And we're feeling good about where this team's at from a physicality standpoint, because that's one of those things that you either have it or you don't. And if you want to be one of the better teams in the SEC, you better be a physical team. And we know that they've got some dudes on that squad that are going to be really physical. They're going to be thumpers. They're going to be ready to hit. But for a defense to take that step, they've got to be sure in their tackling, and they've got to be physical, setting the tone. And I think we also want to hear that from the offensive line as well, because they're going to get tested. That is a really good defensive line group that they're going up against every single day in practice. And if we're hearing good things about the offensive line and they're stacking good days together, and you're hearing talk from, a Branson Hickman or a Jacob Sexton or Bill Bedenbaugh about the development of the offensive line, any positive news out of that, I'm going to take to heart, because again, they're going up against a Dejon Terry who helped really shore up Oklahoma's short yardage situation, and a Dominic Williams who was one of the better interior defensive tackles over the last couple of years, and some really good edge rushers as well that are developing. So that's what I'm looking to hear is physicality. And then also just what does Jaden Gibson look like?
Yeah, that's a good one as well. And I'm glad you pointed out the toughness part, because the rumors coming out of the summer workouts is that we're bigger, stronger, still as fast, right? Because we were very fast last year. We were known for being, actually, that was like the scouting report of the teams we played against was like, now those dudes were whipping around everywhere. They were fast. They play at a very high speed. And with those rumors following it, as you're talking about toughness, the strength, the rumor coming out is these dudes look a lot bigger, right? And so when Oklahoma put out the pictures or whatnot, you saw a Taylor Tatum that looks like, he reminds me of Kyler Murray when he was, the baseball Kyler Murray. Actually, what Kyler Murray looks like right now, because Kyler's a wide dude, right? He looks like a baseball player, but he's playing quarterback. Tatum looks like a massive power hitter and a massive running back all at the same time. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing both of those. And on top of that, you're hearing that the line is lifting, that like the weight is up, right? We've already seen the numbers. They're all over 300 pounds. We don't have an offensive lineman under 300 right now.
Yeah, no Tavion Birds this year.
Right. Massive, right? That means that there's a dedication to gaining mass and getting strength, because at that age, that's work, right? It takes work to gain weight. At my age, I can gain weight all I want to right now. All I got to do is eat ice cream for like 3 days, and I've already put on 10 pounds. Yep. But at that age, no, that thing's burning so much, especially with the heat, right? So hearing that they're stronger, and then seeing the physical part. Saw a picture of Caden Helms when we talked about tight ends a minute ago, right? And I like that point of, I want to know who the leader is. Is Jake Roberts going to be the one that takes the reign in the tight end room and be that leader? But seeing a picture of Caden Helms, who looks pretty healthy, and hearing he's past the knee thing, it's more so like little nagging things like hammies or whatnot. But seeing his size, he's looking all of 240, 245, and just strong. Like his legs look bigger, his upper body looks bigger. Man, if we are as big as the rumors are, man, the concern should go out the window.
And I hope for a guy like Caden Helms that this is the year that he actually gets some injury good luck, because man, that dude, he's been in the program. I mean, I think he has a chance to be this year's Nick Anderson, a guy that had injury issues, hadn't been able to get on the field, but now he's healthy. He's being able to develop. He's been able to work in the off season, and we're about to see the takeoff. I'm hoping that's the case, because you need somebody that can go win down the middle, who can win in the seam and open things up for the rest of the offense. If you don't have anybody that can threaten down the middle or over the middle of the field, well, it allows the defense to focus more on the perimeter, which is where you got your guys, Nick Anderson, Jaden Gibson, Deion Burks, and it's going to make life a little bit more difficult on them. The fact that everybody was thriving last year without much tight end production was pretty impressive. But if you get a guy that can work down the middle, even if it's Jake Roberts and he's just steady, just picking up 7-8 yards at a time, he's converting his targets, he's getting open and making the linebackers pay attention to him, that's going to open up that space just behind the linebackers and in front of the safeties. That's going to make them focus more on the middle of the field and allow your guys on the perimeter to work a little bit more. So yeah, man, health is always going to be a big thing as we talk about training camps. Everybody's going to be praying that Oklahoma has good health this summer.
So the question is, I got for you, John, in the running back room, who do you think, I guess the best way to say this, I don't want to say like who's going to take somebody else's job, right? But who do you think is going to be the one that's going to like really pop off the screen after the first week?
After the first week of fall camp?
Just first week, like because they're gonna compound a whole bunch of good days. So you may see some transitions in between people, but who do you think in the running back room is going to really jump out within this first week?
Yeah, I think Xavier Robinson's going to. I think that's a guy that, with Gavin Sawchuk and Javonte Barnes returning, the addition of Sam Franklin, with Taylor Tatum joining the team for the summer, I think that Xavier Robinson is going to kind of remind some people like, hey, don't forget about me. I'm a little Ramon J. Stevenson starter kit, and I've got something to me as well. Now, how much that transitions into the season and his role in the season, we'll see. But, I mean, running back is deep, dude. It's going to be hard to get everybody touches, and I think you're probably going to see mostly, Gavin Sawchuk, Javonte Barnes, Sam Franklin, and then you'll see maybe a Mecca come after that, and then we'll see what the freshmen do. I don't expect to see a lot of the freshmen unless it's blowout situations. I think they'll want to give their veterans an opportunity. Remember, let's not forget Javonte Barnes, as a true freshman, ran for 500 yards and had 8 touchdowns. Like, this is a good player. Just because he wasn't good last year because of all those injuries, it doesn't take away that he is a really, really good player. And I'm excited to see him back because he was explosive. He was physical. He was patient. He kind of ran what the offensive line was doing. He wasn't just running up the middle and and hoping there was going to be daylight. No, he took his time, found the creases, and made big plays. So I think like right now, my running back hierarchy would be Sacha, Barnes, and Franklin. But it wouldn't surprise me to see one of those true freshmen step up and create some significant opportunities for themselves down the road.
Yeah, I know we've talked about the true freshmen and whatnot, which ones are really going to jump out. And I'm still wanting to see what type of days are put together by those freshman offensive linemen, right? Of course, that's the position of contention. But looking at the video, the propaganda that was placed out yesterday, you saw Eddie Pierre-Louis Lewis is standing there with the mean mug, but he didn't have the shades on, right? He didn't have the hater blockers on. And he's standing there and he's like, oh man, that dude look mean. And I had to tweet out, I was like, hey, remember, this dude also runs track. Mm-hmm. A lot of people was like, whoa. And it's surreal to see, because we know that that first episode of OU DNA is going to pop, because it's going to be some great content from the week. It's going to be seeing them go through like the weights and all of that, the weigh-ins. Yeah, it's going to be an absurdly amazing episode. So yeah, make sure y'all tune into that too.
Yeah, I think there's going to be so many good nuggets coming out of fall camp. It's going to be fascinating to see just kind of who asserts themselves in some of these different position battles that we've talked about. I can't wait to see how a guy like Jaren Kanak has bounced back, because I think he's going to develop. I think he's going to be a guy that improves upon some of the things that didn't really go well for him in the fall last year. I think we're going to see an improved Jaren Kanak. Not quite ready to write him off yet as a player. I think all of the linebacker groups are going to have productive seasons. SummerSlam is happening this Sunday night in Cleveland, Ohio. But what does that mean for you in the Oklahoma area? Well, hey, SmackDown is coming to the BOK Center in Tulsa the following Friday. Why is that important? Well, hey, there's whispers that the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, is returning after a long layoff to the WWE for SummerSlam, which means he probably makes an appearance with the Bloodline next Friday night at the BOK Center in Tulsa. Go get your tickets over at Game Time. Right now, some great deals, but they always got the last minute deals. The closer you get to the start time, the prices drop. So go to Game Time, an official marketplace dealer of Major League Baseball. But the best last minute tickets, the all-in views from your seat, and you get the great cancellation policies as well. If something comes up and you're not able to make it, Game Time will work with you as well. So go download the Game Time app today in the App Store, Google Play Store, and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's over at Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Are you listening to Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Well, make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming, without all the nonsense that you might see over there on ESPN or Fox Sports. Locked On Sports today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.